It is Wednesday, and this week I feel like it's going to be a street legend week. What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Shout out to y'all if y'all watched my last video about Cornell Jones. The part 2 to that video will be coming out very soon. Tomorrow is Be For Real podcast. That is every Thursday. And I'm also starting to double upload on that channel. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Today we will be talking about the R Street crew. What we need to know, the players involved, or at least some of them, and the history behind their name. Also, speaking on street legends, I want to include what we can learn from these people, from the people of the past. The people that paved the way, whether that be for negativity, positivity, or indifferent. So without further ado, let's get the video started. The R Street crew was a notorious gang from Northeast Washington, D.C. that became infamous for violence and for nearly 20 years held the reign of violence in their area. Violence, control, and fear in their area. This was a gang that didn't have a problem going to war together. They made money together and were able to operate for many years without any major arrests or indictments being handed down against them. Major heat and attention on the R Street crew began in the mid to late 80s to the very early 90s. And I say the very early 90s because they were all convicted in 1992. And they were convicted very early. It was a fairly quick process. I mean, some people wait a long time for trial. I feel like they did not have to. Another factor in the R Street crew that was very shocking to see was that friends and very close associates named names and they told police everything they wanted to know about the R Street crew. Basically, a lot of their friends became foes when they took the stand. 3 of the 5 men that were convicted in 1992 did July 21st, 1992. And these 3 men were convicted of operating a criminal enterprise, used murder and intimidation to control drug sales in their Northeast neighborhood. 2 other defendants who were also members of the R Street crew were convicted of drug conspiracy and other charges. This case took 5 months to try, and this was the first case in the district. So this case made history. The first case in the district to use sophisticated anti-racketeering laws against a suspected street drug gang. The jurors ended up acquitting all of the defendants of racketeering, even though the racketeering charge had little effect because these defendants were charged with more serious crimes. So the jury ended up convicting all of these defendants on more serious and complex offenses. So really, you gave them hope and then you just took it. And that's how the courts is set up for us, you know. The R Street crew operated between 1983 to 1991, conducting most of their business near Lincoln Road and R Street Northeast. So let's get into this trial, this 5-month trial. And I don't know, to me that's kind of quick, but put your opinion in the comments below. Is that quick? So, prosecutors portrayed the R Street crew as high-rolling drug dealers who built an organization complete with enforcers, drug processors, distribution, lieutenants, and street runners. So it's a lot of different parts in running and continuing a criminal enterprise. There are a lot of different roles and a lot of people have to stay in line. Various witnesses spoke to police and took the stand to describe lavish spending sprees, high-speed chases, 3 killings, and an unsuccessful attempt on Rayful Edmond's life. There was a drive-by shooting done by the R Street crew in attempts to take Rayful out. That attempt was unsuccessful, but there were some people around who told police about it. People around that were friends of the R Street crew. Very close associates. So what this says to me is the 90s really set a precedence for snitching, and it started a long time ago. Like, people think that, oh, people just snitching now and they getting away with it, or people just snitching now and making excuses for it. No, this shit was happening in the 90s too. And it's very bold, you know, if you was in a car with them, it's very bold for you to take the stand. But I think a lot of people realize that these gangs become powerless, and the police was cutting their heads off by arresting everybody at one time. Everybody. But you have to have a good enough snitch for that. So let's get into the continuing a criminal enterprise. Now, continuing a criminal enterprise is a offense that carries a mandatory sentence of life without parole, as well as getting the continuing a criminal enterprise charge. These 3 men that I'm about to name, police said used murder and intimidation to control drug sales in their neighborhood. Kevin Davis, 28 at the time, 28 at the time of 1992. Anthony Nugent, 27 at the time of 1992. And Daryl Williams, 24 at the time of 1992. All 3 men were convicted of second-degree murder. Davis and Nugent were also convicted of 6 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. In part 2 of speaking on the R Street crew, I will be breaking down where this murder charge came from, where these men are now, and how their reign affected DC both in the gang culture, you know, because I feel like with their gang dying out and being in prison, there are another group of men that of course want to fill those shoes. And what this really did to the culture of DC. Of course, within speaking on murder, assault, and things like this, and talking about court proceedings, most of that is not positive. But my hope is that their offspring knew better, because they had pure examples of to have strength and to use your power in the right ways. But if you're not going to, you know where you're going to end up. On to another video. If you watch to the end, make sure that you like this, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It's your girl B Octavia, and I will see y'all in my next video.